Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back. Today's Vod Review we will be doing Griffin versus KT. This is week 4, game 2. We did do the Vod review for game 1, so if you want to watch that, just click on that, be on the channel. So anyways, just click on that if you missed that one. But anyways, we're excited to get in this one, so let's just talk about the draft. I love talking about the draft. It's my favorite part of the game, so let's do it. So as per usual, Griffin comes in with a really spicy draft. So Griffin is the cool thing about Griffin, and especially on this patch too, is they don't care about power picks. I mean, especially the ambiguity of 9.3 right now is that power picks are kind of like, huh? Like people are trying to still figure out what the power picks are. I think Yasuo is a power pick on this patch. So Yasuo is a pretty powerful pick, and I think Ezreal is also a really powerful pick on this patch as well. But the cool thing about Griffin and the scary thing about them being on red side is that they'll give you what you want and they'll just counterpick it, right? They'll just take a couple pieces that they want and then they'll just counterpick whatever you have, because they can do that because they'll play whatever style they want and play it against you. So that's what's really cool. So let's go through the draft. So let's talk about a couple bands. So all these bands are pretty standard. The Galio band just comes out because they don't want to go against the Lehends support Galio. They just don't want to deal with that in this game. And when you're on blue side, you can kind of just ban a lot of whatever you want, just because you're not necessarily banning you're banning some power picks, but then you pick the one that you want, right? Because they wanted the Yasuo. They really prioritizing the Yasuo. So they really don't want to mess with the Galio, and they're not going to play the Galio, and nobody else is, so they're just going to ban it out. The only weird ban that's really on here is the Mordekaiser. So the reason why you might want to ban Mordekaiser is one, they have double melee, so they have a double melee bottom lane. And so you can actually just go Frostmancy Mordekaiser and just hit them with E every time they come out the CS, and you can actually proc Frostmancy like really easy. So that might be a reason why they don't want to do that. Also, Mordekaiser just does super well in the melees, and they have a triple melee on their team. So like the jungle and the full bottom lane. So Mordekaiser would just destroy on them, and also Viper likes to play Mordekaiser, so that makes a lot of sense with that ban, even though it looks kind of out of place. Cool, but you know who else does really well in the melees? Darius does really well in the melees, so that's why that came out right there. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Cool, so let's just look at KG's draft over here. I'm not going to talk about like draft order and what was the strategy when they're going into that. I only talk about that when it's really interesting, but I just want to talk about win conditions over here. Cool, so this has actually a Yasuo bottom. Let me move to where they did their lane swaps already. Cool, because I just wanted to show the order that they drafted in real quick. Cool. So this is actually Yasuo bottom, so we'll just look over here. All right, let's think about win conditions. So this is a winning top side for the Kennen. So Kennen actually should have Prio and Bully in this matchup, so it can actually bully the Urgot in this matchup. This is an aggressive jungler who can, skirmish in the early game as well as the Lehends, so is a early skirmishing jungler. So Zoe generally has some priority in the early laning phase versus LeBlanc. Neither really have a whole lot of kill pressure on each other, just because if Zoe wants to play this way, she can heavily outrange. But LeBlanc did take Ignite, so she can have some kill pressure, especially at the level 6 timing. Or if she wants to flash and make plays with the jungler, so definitely can have kill pressures with the jungler, so can look for plays with that, as well as the other way around, can look for plays with the jungle, since she didn't take cleanse. So an aggressive take with the Ignite, so can have some kill pressure on the Zoe, but Zoe does heavily outrange, so if she wants to play a little bit more safe, she can just get Prio in the lane, the early laning phase, but LeBlanc can match the push a little bit later. Cool. Why does this move? Okay. Gamers unite, rise up. Anyways, this is a funny commercial. Anyways, this bottom lane right here, definitely do not have Prio in the lane. You can maybe get Prio in the early laning phase just because of Gragas barrels and the AoE from the Yasuo Q. So maybe you can get Prio in the early laning phase, but you do not win out on trades versus the Darius. So you actually at like level 3, this is a really scary bot lane to just even walk up to, because Darius is a direct counter pick. So can be really volatile, so you can get the early push at level 1 if you really want to as this bot lane, but you do have a lot of kill threat with this Darius Alistar lane, onto you as a Yasuo, so you might lose out on a lot of priority and push potential. So I like to talk about priority because I think it's so important. So as Griffin, you can look for a lot of bot river control, especially with this comp. But let's talk about KT real quick. So KT do have a lot of explosive, explosive like one item type champions. So a lot of champions that come on at one item. So like the Jarvan, the Kennen, the Yasuo, and the LeBlanc. So it can have a lot of explosive mid-game fights as well. Can make a lot of plays in the early game. Can make a lot of plays around the Kennen, the Yasuo, and the LeBlanc. So the Jarvan can kind of play around wherever he wants to. Can look to get the LeBlanc. The LeBlanc lane ahead is an area where you can look to get ahead and maybe get control of that bot river area, but Griffin might just have control of that bot river area, so you could just look to get control of the top river area and maybe get just a lead for the Kennen, the LeBlanc, and look to get to those one items and have those explosive team fights. So this is a team fighting comp for sure. So later in the game, we can look for those TP flanks with the Kennen, and can look for those really big team fights. So definitely a team fighting comp, and Jarvan has a lot of tools he can work with and a lot of lanes he can make plays with. So pretty good things out of KT. So I like what they have going on. Griffin over here, what they have going on. So most likely will not have priority in the top lane. Can have some kill threat with the 2v2 though. Lee Sin can offer a lot in the 2v2. In the mid lane, we just have, the long-range poke assassins, so can get prio in the mid lane with the Zoe in the early laning phase, and you can obviously look for outplays and some 2v2 with the jungler. So the junglers in this game have a lot of options. Cool, bot lane has a lot of kill threat onto the Yasuo and the Gragas, so bot lane can look to get priority, and they can look to get control of the whole bot river area. So we'll be looking for Lee Sin to get like wraparound ganks, that type of stuff, the bottom side. So if I was Lee Sin and I was Griffin, I'd be looking to get control of that entire side of the map, and then can look to maybe make some plays around top side as well. So Lee Sin has a lot of options, but maybe get transition their control. Can look for plays around any of the lanes, but then transition their control around the bot side river whenever they want to look for the dragon. So like that level 6 timing, look for control around that side of the map so they can get control of the dragon, and can look for wraparound ganks and kills on the enemy bot lane is what I'd be looking for if I was Griffin. So cool. And so they also have a pretty good, pretty explosive one item team comp. So also another team fighting comp, and the Darius was just a direct counter pick because they have a lot of melees, a lot of people that want to be up in his face, so can do a lot of stuff with that. The Alistair can also just boop away the Kennen whenever he dives in, can boop away the Gragas whenever he dives in, so it can do a lot of interesting things in the team fights. So the team fights will be really interesting. Luisin can also kick away the Kennen, so a lot of interesting things that can go on in these team fights, so will be fun to watch. Cool. All right, let's get into the game. I think both teams pretty much got what they wanted, but the Darius counter pick in the bottom lane was just really awesome. So that was pretty cool. He's not the first one to play. Darius bottom lane. Faker played it last year. I actually watched that game. Watched that game live. That was really funny. Okay. Yeah. So Smeb just goes up for he gets a slice sack of gold. It's looked really silly. Oh yeah, he's doing the Frostmancy in the top lane. I don't know if he should have, because he maybe just should have went for like full bully lane. This is a bully lane, but I don't know. Zenit just gets poked out. So this is actually the Kennen getting poked out wasn't really that relevant because he's actually going to make it back in time. But the Yasuo getting poked out was pretty relevant because he's going to miss the first 2 minions of XP, I believe. So that was actually pretty relevant. And his leash is a little bit weaker. He does miss 1 minion of XP. 2 minions of XP. That is pretty relevant. So junglers are basically just switching sides of the map. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, they both just went to the sides of the map where they're probably going to have priority. Okay, LeBlanc actually got the early push. Oh yeah, Lehends he gets level 2 and he kind of like whiffs everything, so it's fine. Zoe just playing safe in the matchup so far. Pretty sure Zoe can get the push in that lane. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Zoe can get the push in the lane. But I could be completely wrong. Cool. Yeah, Umti gets the flash of the sword. So yeah, as I said, yeah, Jarvan just wants to split the map because his strong side is going to be on the top side, and sword actually does get denied a lot of. Sword does actually get denied like half a wave because it was actually pushing in the Smeb side. And Lehends just going to play around his bottom side because that's his strong side of the map. They're just splitting the map. I think Zoe can get the push, but probably just playing safe just based off of Lehends is trying to make plays around bottom and Jarvan, Jarvan level 2 gank mid, that type of stuff. That makes a lot of sense there. But I think Chovy can get the push in the mid lane. Yeah, for sure can. Okay, I'm right about that. All right. Lose confidence in myself sometimes when I see matchups I haven't seen in a while. So I know that matchup can get like kind of tenuous for the Zoe later. In terms of kill threat. Oh, okay, hold on. This is okay, this is when this is the outplay. Let's watch this. This is a nice play. Alright, this is just Chovy doing Chovy things. He gets the exhaust off, insta cleanses, or not insta cleanses, but cleanses as soon as the chain procs. Oh, takes BDD's flash to get the kill, baits Umti by jumping into him, and then just sidesteps. Either way, Umti was gonna get killed, but he almost got the trade kill. But oh my god, that was so clean. Oh, Jesus, Chovy's so good, dude. It's crazy. Chovy is so good. It's crazy. Oh, and so like Griffin didn't even have to get that. Like that's just a bonus. That's just being a better player, you know. That's just being an amazing player. Red smites him. Get out of my lane. Kind of funny. Ooh. Oof. Yeah, little Bonk didn't have flash, so if she ever tries to trade aggressively, she just dies. Smeb has a really bad series. Lehends is just running around the map. Oh man. He gets his back stopped like 3 different times. Oh man, and now Griffin just blowing the door open. It really heads up play by Lehends. He just gets Mobies and just leaves the lane. Runs up here. He was doing that based off of like a back timer, so both the supports had backed, and then he got Mobies and just ran straight mid because he knew he didn't have flash. That's just Smeb not having flash, so Tarzan and Sword both just flash on his head. Oh, okay. KT may be looking to try to get control around Dragon, but it's kind of tough for them because their mid is kind of going boom. Yeah, they can't look for that. Their mid is boom. They get a good cask into an ultimate. Yeah, they're like looking for vision control, but they don't have like the tools necessary to get vision control because their mid is kind of boom right now. Ugh, feels bad. Ooh, close. Do you have heal too? No, that was just the Q heal. Okay, it just looked like a summoner heal. Yeah, so now everybody's kind of fighting control over Dragon. But there's not a world that KT can get control of that now. They maybe can off of Darius has to back now, just based off of like health timings. But the Yasuo also had the back. Okay, I didn't know if the Yasuo had the back. So there's not like a world in which they get control over Dragon most likely, but they can get control of like Rift Herald side if they want to. I don't know if they can actually get Rift Herald. I think Lee Sin can maybe get some stuff up there. But they smell something fishy up here. Yeah, when you don't see the Gragas in lane, they just know they're trying to make a play somewhere. Smeb doesn't even get the stun off. This is a really bad play by Smeb. Is he 3 levels behind? What level is he? Okay. I think that Rift Herald's free. Yeah, because yeah. Oh man. Oh no, Smeb is only 1 level behind. I thought it said level 7. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, Smeb doesn't even get the stun. He didn't. I don't know how he didn't stun him, but he didn't land the stun at all. I don't think. Watch. Oh, he didn't have lightning rush. Oh yeah, that was really poorly played. He didn't hit him with a Q. He didn't have W or E. Wow, that was really terrible. He used all of his abilities on the wave. Oof. KT actually have full vision of bot side river because Lee Sin was got Rift Herald. So they're trying to look for a dragon just based off of back timings. But I don't know, they can't make this play. Okay. Oh, but you just get exhausted. Good TP by Griffin. Hmm. Yeah, that was tough. They didn't know where the Lee Sin was, and they didn't actually have vision in the deep part of their jungle, and they just walked a little bit too far forward. They actually didn't have proper control of these choke points, so they didn't know where the Lee Sin was. They didn't know where the Lee Sin was, and they didn't know where the Urgot was. He just instantly TPs behind, and they're already behind. And Yasuo can't go in for like. No, they did know where the Lee Sin was. That Yasuo ultimate was not good. Yeah, because you know you're just gonna instant exhausted because you traded exhaust with the Darius, so you're just gonna lose 1v1, and you saw the Lee Sin start wrapping around. So, I guess they just think the Jarvan was gonna. I mean, they couldn't know the sword was TPing right there, but they didn't have vision behind the backside, so they don't know what's back there in general. So they're just kind of ulting into fog. They kind of just ulted in the fog, and then Lee Sin just comes out, and a Urgot comes out. So just poor fight selection there, because you're not gonna win that fight just trading exhaust with Darius and the Lee Sin, you know, or you're not gonna win that 2v2. Ulting in the fog. Alright, now the game is in Griffin's control. This game started at like an even game state because there was like strong sides of the map. And there are like strong sides of the map, and then but mid like it went boom at level 6, and yeah, like mid went boom level 6, and then KT takes a fight around their mid and bot side, which is their bot side is the losing matchup, like starting out in the game, and then their winning matchup is their top laner, and he gets solo killed, or he gets killed by the jungler, and then he gets solo killed. So now they're just losing all 3 lanes. So they're losing in all 3 lanes, and they're outskilled by all the players on the enemy team, and they don't necessarily outscale. You know, like I mean they do, I guess, but like you don't outscale if you're just losing. You know, if you're just losing every advantage, you can't really outscale. So it's pretty tough. This game is kind of unwinnable, barring like Griffin make a big mistake, honestly, at this point. Because now Griffin can just try to get like forward vision on chokes around the objectives that they want. So, and then they can just look for fights like this because they're in the lead. Right? They don't have to look for like super like special like super controlled special fights because they have so much pick with the Lee Sin and the Zoe and the Alistair and the Urgot, and they're so far ahead, so they don't have to look for these like super vision controlled fights, but they can too, you know. So if they just find a fight that they like and they have members in the area, they can feel really comfortable taking them because they're so far in the lead. But now they'll just look for vision around the choke points of the enemy's jungle that they like, and they can just push in the waves and then look for fights around those areas. Their Baron speed is actually really slow, so they just want to threaten and then look for fights. Is what they want to do. They do get a mountain, so if they can get a mountain, this will be really good. This is a takeaway mountain. This isn't really that good for King Zone. It's just a takeaway mountain. Because Griffin's Baron speed is really slow, so they really want that mountain. But Griffin is just like, okay, you took mountain. I know you want a base, so we just killed 2 people, so we're just gonna take Baron, or you're gonna have to come fight us. So this is what I'm talking about. They just get vision on the chokes, right? They get vision on the chokes, and they just go and start fighting Baron. They're like, if you want us to not win the game, come fight us, and they just insta turn. Rather than just like farming waves and playing super controlled, they're just like, we have a man advantage. We're way more powerful than you, so we're just gonna start fighting Baron. And if you want to do anything about it, come fight us. And they just insta turn. And they even deny the minion wave. It's pretty great. Oh man. Oh, and this game is really done at this point. I don't even know how this fight starts. I think it shows a replay, and Tarzan just literally just goes in 1v4 because he's just like, whatever. My team will show up. I have a stopwatch. Yep, and they just got 3 kills, so they're literally just going to end the game. Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright, and they'll just get a base, and then they'll just come back and siege you again. And although they don't have a AD carry, they have like decent siege just because they have like the poke of the Zoe, and the Zoe's so far ahead. The poke of the Zoe, and then they can execute you with Urgot. So even though they don't have an actual marksman, their siege isn't that bad. Just based off of them, like the Zoe being so far ahead. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yep, and then they're just going to push in the towers and end this game. No, we got to back for Cloud. Back for Cloud. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. That's a GG easy if I've ever seen one. Yep, and that's the end of the game. Griffin is such a scary team, man. They just play like, what's so scary about playing against Griffin is that they'll let you have what you want in the draft, and they'll still beat you. They'll let you have what you want, and they'll just pick against it, and then they'll just beat you. It's not like they just pick troll stuff, right? They just pick what they don't care if you get what you want. They're just like, okay, you have what you want, but we'll pick something that's good into that, and we also like it. But we're just better than you, so we're going to do it better. So they just play around their win conditions perfectly. Like, they just play around their win conditions perfectly. They make some individual mistakes, right? So, like, in the first game, like, Lehends made a lot of, like, individual errors and got killed, right? But the way they actually play around, like, macro, around the specific, like, the way they macro around the specific champions that they pick each game is so like special, and it's so great. It's so cool to watch. And I'm not like I mean I'll say I'm a Griffin fan just because I'm a fan of good League of Legends, and they're playing the best League of Legends around, as far as I can find. So it's great to see this game from Griffin. This game was really great. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this water review. Hope I was able to provide some insight to this game. It was pretty much a stomp on this one. Look at this sweet embrace from Lehends and SnowFlower. But I hope I was able to provide some insights. Hope you guys enjoyed this water review. But anyways, had fun making this one. Anyways, I say anyways so much. Jesus Christ. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll be doing some LEC VODs later today, so that'll be fun. Alright, well, anyways, bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. I need to stop saying anyways. Okay, bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye.